This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monty Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carrie Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com.
Monty.
Carrie Ann, so good to see your smile.
Yes, good to be here.
Thanks for joining us today. And I know as the number one realtor or number one mortgage professional in the universe, you've got to have a fairly hectic schedule. And so thank you for joining us today.
Kicking off the new year, I think I'm putting a lot on my schedule because this is going to be our year. It's going to be a good year.
This is going to be a good year.
I think it is.
I know we're going to go through some bumps still, but this is going to be a good year. Yeah, there's going to be several realtors decide this is not what they want to do, because they just really thought maybe it was easier than what it is. But I'm excited about that, not for them. I'm excited for our team because we're understanding mental toughness. We're understanding doing the things that matter most in business. And today we've got a guest with us, Mr. Justin Taylor, who is going to teach us, explain to us, share with us one of those elements that is so critical for a successful effort in real estate. Mm-hmm. And that is a CRM and a really great choice in that. So anyhow, Justin, thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Welcome.
We're so grateful for that.
Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
When I saw you teaching for the first time at our recent event with Kathy Baker and Chris Allen and others, I was really blown away at how you make it so you're such a great teacher. You know, what I've learned in life is that none of us know any more than what we're able to effectively convey to somebody else. As a leader of any organization, you soon find out, wow, I thought I knew that, but if you can't convey something effectively so the other party understands it, then maybe you don't know it as well as you thought. And I say that only because as real estate professionals, make sure you know before you get to the client that you know your stuff, okay? You know how to explain it. You know how to describe your value. So one of the things, obviously, in today's world that every successful realtor has to lean into is a CRM and understand its mysteries behind it. So anyhow, thank you, Justin, for being here to share some details about this and a particular one that we have now with this company that I'm so excited about. And that's called Bold Trail.
What's it called?
Bold Trail.
Bold Trail.
Bold Trail. So to take it away, Justin, I know you've got some bullet points here for us. The class that you did recently for us a couple weeks ago, again, I was so impressed, as everybody else in the room was, as far as how you deliver this message so that we can understand it and understand why it's so important and how to utilize it to our best. And if you're going to make 2025 one of your best years, which I believe is available for everybody here, then a CRM is one of those key things I think is going to could make you or break you. Is that true?
Yeah, no, I think it's something that every agent should absolutely focus on, but it's one of those things. It's funny because you said, break it down in a way that's more digestible for agents to learn. And that has been ever since getting into teaching real estate specifically and marketing and the, technology and all that kind of thing. It's trying to break it down in a way that is easier, again, digestible, and in a way that the agent can get excited that they can actually accomplish this. Because I think it's on everyone's list, right? We know we need a CRM. We know we need to update our database. Just like the class that we did, I always ask in the beginning, who in here has a database? Lots of hands raised. Who in here consistently updates it or leverages it? All the hands go down, right? Because it's one of those things that we kind of just check the box or buy into a certain CRM and just never go back into it or don't update it regularly, which is detrimental to our business in terms of long-term growth, keeping us organized, and just communicating better with our people.
Yeah, so
whether
true.
It's past clients or not.
Yeah.
Right. And it just starting with your past clients. So, anytime I'm working with an agent and we're just starting, they're just starting to get into the habit of using a CRM or choosing one, always start with your past clients first. And then you can get your farm, your other people, your referral partner agents in there, like we talked about in the class, right? Those feeder markets. Don't be afraid to have agents in your database, but make sure that your database is organized and tagged, right? Monty, we were on a call this morning and we were looking at certain stats for average first-time new home buyer, cash, all those things. The average first-time age of a first-time home buyer right now is 38. Cash buyer, right? So that certain demographic, there's a certain percentage of that too. And a CRM that's organized and tagged by first-time home buyer or by past client, you can be more personable with your communication and message to them because it resonates with them. It's not a blanket, drip campaign or something going out, but you can be more specific to that. And Carrie Ann, you probably know this a lot too in terms of a database. Running such a successful business there, is it's so key to be able to not just track deals, but follow up with your clients and agents and just staying organized and knowing where your business is coming from. That's another benefit of that CRM, right? And making sure the data is accurate. Your CRM is only as good as your data is accurate.
And fueling it,
so
right? Like you're saying, fueling it on a regular basis, right? We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. If you just take the time, the little steps, right? You just don't know the gold and the diamonds that you have right at your fingertips, with a true CRM. So many of us, I think, in the agents are looking for tomorrow. They're looking for the next. Sometimes you just got to look down. They always say, it's right under our nose sometimes, right? And being able to utilize that. The people that already love you, like you, trust you, right? Probably know other people that may like you, trust you, and want to do business with you too. So
you really bring up a great point, though, what Kathy Baker shared in that webinar we were in this morning, and breaking that down. I had no idea the average first-time buyer was 38 years old. That's empowerment there, that then you can design that to speak to those people. At the same time, I think, I forget the percentage that were over 60, that was the biggest buying group, equity holders at least, and that's a different message. I need to hear a different message than what you need, probably,
True. Yeah. And again, even if you take the time to even dial it into knowing some of your specific likes and wants, maybe the football team you like, or, you've got kids, or you love your gardener, right? You have a green thumb and, you love your dogs. Not only do you like your dogs, you like a certain type of dog, right? So dialing that even more intensely will totally build that trust and that rapport immediately, right out of the gate. I always giggle too, like they like wine. Well, what type of wine? Sometimes I'm profiling people on social media. I think right when you and I met in Connie, I would search. I saw a picture and then I would search and try to see if I could figure out the type of wine bottle.
Wow.
But because it means so much more, right? If your goal is to really connect with that person, making the effort, but having that in your database and your CRM, you don't have to. That's intense and over the top. But just starting and having one, Justin, I think is what you're talking about, right? Beginning.
Yeah,
Step one.
Just starting with the basic. And even if you just start with, an Excel spreadsheet just to get the people on it, right? That's not the end game. But getting the clean data on that sheet and then importing that into whichever CRM, works for you. Bold Trail is phenomenal. There's a lot of cool tools in there, automations. It's a smart CRM, so you can have a lot of those behavioral analytics in there, tagging, all that kind of stuff, and communication style, right? Like when we meet with new clients,
that's a good one, yeah.
Is it part of our process to ask them, hey, what's your preferred method of communication? Do you prefer text? Do you prefer phone calls? Do you prefer emails? You gotta meet them where they're gonna be. And really good CRMs, including Bold Trail, will allow you to text out of it or email or include videos into it or anything like that. But at the end of the day, a CRM is going to help you stay organized, stay on top of your people, be able to communicate on a regular basis to stay in front of them. Because I can't remember, I think I did tell this story in that training, but a couple years ago, a good friend of mine who's an agent here in Scottsdale, Arizona, came to me and said, hey, I got to get my database together. Like, I'm chasing leads. I just have to get better at that. So I sat down with her, and she's a good producer, 40 million a year. And we sat down and we started to go through just her past sales. And very quickly we found a lot of them ended up going and selling their home, even in the last 2 years, with another agent, because she didn't stay in front of them.
Right.
She didn't communicate. We're talking multiple 6 figures in GCI.
That hurts.
She was in tears.
That hurts.
It hurts. It hurts. And just a simple fact of being able to communicate better with those that you've already worked with, or those who are for business to you, it allows you to do that within that CRM. And, again, automation, drip campaigns, all that kind of stuff. But I just think it's a daunting task. It's one of those things that we know, like I was saying earlier, we know we need to be doing it, but we have 482 other things that we're doing in this business as real estate agents. But we have to treat those pieces of the puzzle just like we would right now. If one of you, Monty got a call right now and said, I want to list my home. I need to sell it immediately. He's leaving the podcast. No, I'm kidding. But the agents, right, we put so much authority and attention on those moments, but we don't actually time block or put effort into the things that we know that we should be doing to work on our business, not necessarily in it.
Yeah, we talk a lot, on this podcast, about, being the CEO of your own business and running your business like a business. And part of that is getting organized, right? And part of that is putting structure around it and building a true foundation. And you think about if a real estate agent is the business, right? The single person. Look at all these other types of businesses. They clearly are tracking you and I. They're definitely getting the information quickly. They're trying to figure out, what my likes and wants are and needs are. I'm getting the birthday card, for the discount of this or that and all the things. So they're doing it, right? And they're successful and they're spending a lot more money. And again, a lot of it is just time and effort, right? Taking so much time every day, structuring out of your day to make that a priority, right? And you can get a lot of information just by, the social media aspect of it, right? You can, look each person up and grab quickly some quick information that you can, put within, your CRM, if that's what you want. And I love when you talk about best communication styles. We talked too before about DISC and the importance of kind of mimicking, right? I'm very much of a D player. If I am attracted to other D players, right? And so the people that try to capture my business, if they know that, they're quick and to the point, right? They speak in bullet points. They're fast. They're getting to the point fast. If there's a lot of fluff, you lost me. We're probably not going to do business together, type of thing. That's for me. And so we ask, even for our clients, we ask, do you like your communication in bullet point form, or would you like us to explain it more? Just by asking a very simple question like that, you can quickly figure out if they're this type of personality or that, because a data person, somebody that's on that CS side, is going to want more info, right? They're going to want some, more structure around it. And so understanding that allows us to go slow or fast, and so little things like that can definitely make a huge difference within you building, a stronger pipeline. Good stuff.
And I think too, the communication part, and like you said, putting those notes in there, creating tags in a CRM that maybe you do ask that question. Oh, what type of personality? Like, or you're going to learn that over time. You're going to understand who you're working with, and you're going to tag them internally. So then, when you are sending out communication, maybe they are analytical. So you need to send numbers, right? They're going to love this type of a way. But communication style is huge. And I love that you brought up, all the other companies we're marketed to every day. There's a reason why Starbucks has a database. There's a reason why Target has a database. There's a reason why all these massive companies, small companies, have databases, because we understand that we have to stay in front of our consumers or our audience, or the next one that's doing the effort more than us is going to get them as a client. They're going to out-communicate us in that sense. So, just getting all them into one place and being able to stay organized. But starting, right? Where do you start with an agent? So that's why I always go back to the Excel spreadsheet and just start there. First name, last name, email. If you've closed a deal with them, closing date, if you can get a birthday, nobody needs a year. You can just put month and day in there. But that's all important information. And it makes the experience more personable for them as you communicate with them, right? Because you took the effort to be organized in that sense for that.
Yeah, I think, some people don't like their birthday, right? Personally. And I'm like, but other people's love their birthday. And so whether you're the person that's not a big fan of your birthday, you know, I get so many messages that, do you know that you're the only person that sent me something on my birthday? I get more messages like that. And that, you know, if I can just brighten someone's day, and I'm not going after someone's mortgage at the time, I'm just loving on the people that I've worked with over the years. You know, I think something so simple, and we're given the blessing of social to tell you, if you don't even have the data, to, you know, on who your friends are, and look at your friends as your database too. I mean, why have them as a friend if you're not gonna, you know, try to make more, communication, because that's an opportunity for those people to see you, to start to build rapport with, and possibly continue to, and maybe work with you. So there's a lot of birthdays. I'm a big fan of birthdays, clearly. Mine's coming up, Monty. Hint, hint.
Is it really?
Yeah. I'm a January baby.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, same.
Oh, really?
18th. I'm 18th.
Oh, there you go. I'm a 31st.
My son's a 17th.
The Aquarius side.
Yep. Do you know that Aquarius, not to change the subject, but it says we're going to be the most transformed this year? Hey, look at that. I'm really excited.
Last year enough transformation?
I'm just going to keep transforming into I'll be a transformer before we know it. I don't know. Too funny.
So Justin, for the D personalities out there, especially for the, I love how Kathy Baker breaks down the different age groups on top of the, the discs, but it's those different generations that speak, in a different way. So for the old, if there's any old people watching this, and D personalities who maybe don't have the time or the bandwidth, I know you have a company that does this too, and I know I'm jumping forward here, but I want to make sure we have time in this case, because you're such a humble guy that, the last class you did, I just assumed based on your email that you must have some sort of a system or a help for helping people like myself put something like this together. So can we talk about that? Or let's make sure we do before we end here. I just want to make sure we have time for that, because there's people like me, and a lot of salespeople are not detail people. I don't know, that might be a shock to everybody, but not every salesperson is in detail. Maybe feels they have the time to put all this together.
No, we're very disorganized. Some of us. So Justin, that's one of the reasons why you're my new hero here, is because you do that for people. Can we talk about that a little bit? I know that's not what you're usually doing is waving your own flag, but I'd love to hear more about that flag.
Yeah, no, for sure. I appreciate it. So in December, I launched Blueprint Training and Coaching. Been working on it for a few months, but just to give some backstory, I got into real estate in 2016. And I came from retail. I managed stores, district level, and then I went to corporate to do some turnaround projects. And, if you've ever worked in retail, it's absolutely could be long-term. I was burnt out. Mm-hmm. I was done, right? I was like, this can't be forever. And at that point, I had already gotten my license here in Arizona, because real estate's just something that's been part of me, or a desire and something I wanted to do. But looking back now, I'm like, wow, teaching has been part of every facet of my life and chapter and career that I've been in. And so I got into real estate. I was a sales manager for a very large team here in Arizona. And then I kept getting questions about, hey, can you help me with this? Or hey, can you help me with this? And it just kind of evolved, and I started doing trainings. And I was approached to a sister company to the brokerage I was with, and they wanted me to help them on their side with some of the training and stuff. So I did that, created a platform for them, and all that good stuff. And then recently I decided to make the change, and I wanted to do this on a national level and create something new and fresh, and really try to impact a larger audience for that. So that's kind of the culmination that led to Blueprint. With Blueprint, again, I think, in this industry, we're sold a lot of different shiny objects. It can be very expensive, training and coaching. So I wanted to do more of a monthly subscription-based thing for agents that included multiple trainings each month, and coaching sessions and marketing kits and assets and done-for-you stuff and all that. But the other part of that is done for you solutions, meaning agency services. So we have a tab in our site, a department called Agent Solutions, which has different packages if the agents just want an easy button. Because a lot of times in trainings and things, agents just, they understand it, they get it, want no part of it because it's not their skill set. Or they just don't want to take the time. They would rather spend time in front of their clients or prospecting or whatnot.
And that's kind of where I'm coming from
packages. Here. It's where you're coming from, yeah. So the website customization packages or CRM packages where we help agents, get from A to B quicker, more of a hands off. We still collaborate with the agents, of course, but we take care of it for them. So whether you need your website customized like your Boltra, or you need drip campaigns designed in there, or you need your CRM imported or help with that part, we can assist with all those different services in there as well. So, just in the recent weeks, I mean, even since we launched, but the amount of deep breaths and good sighs that I've heard from agents in meetings, like, man, this is just something, that I've needed help for so long. But also making sure that it's not I'm very conscious of, I understand how expensive this business can be. And I always keep in the back of my head, like, is this something that I would pay for? Is this something that I would subscribe to? It's kind of been the underlying foundation and making it affordable, both on the training coaching side and the agency servicing side. So, I appreciate the plug for that, but there's a lot of different services, and we continue to add, like, your Google business profile optimized. Don't just check a box. That's what I'm trying to get across to agents. Don't just check a box and then move on from it, but you got to stay active with it. Going back to your CRM, right? This is something you should be in daily. I'm not saying all day long, but I'm saying you should go into your CRM and look at the insights. What activity is happening? Who do you need to follow up with? That should be your starting point each day. And then you can go from there.
Well, I have a conviction that some people are like me in that they know they need to go take the time. Because I did this about, 3 or 4 years ago, maybe longer. And I spent 2 days going through all my database to see if they were still, just like the lady you talked about helping. I know that pain. I know it really, really well. And I was shocked at how much money I had lost by not staying in front of people. And I think, again, I've been listening to you now for a few weeks, a month or whatever, and I know that I've got to address this. And sometimes we're afraid of actually facing that reality again, as far as updating, getting, taking the time, spending the, effort to do it, to see, is Mr. and Mrs. Smith still in that house, pulling up the tax records? Because the pain of it, if they're not, is beyond, and I made the mistake of then adding that up, and it was multiple six figures for me. And you think I would have learned that lesson, but you get busy in life and so forth, and suddenly a couple of years have passed and you haven't updated it. But I think that personally, I want to speak from my personal mindset anyhow, that if I knew I had the next step in place, that I could muscle through the hard part as far as facing reality. Oh man, I gave my life to them. What they do, that kind of stuff. Muscle through that in a couple of days, or however long it takes to go through your past database. And then with a plan that somebody like your organization, your effort, could then take it to the next step, and then not let that happen again because we had something impactful that was staying on top of it, and be able to put the details in, the notes in, the birthdays in, those kind of things on maybe a personal level. I just feel like it would be a real big asset to people like myself.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'm a unicorn.
No, I agree. And I think too, your message, what you just said about you almost don't want to face it because you kind of have an underlying feeling of what that is. But, we're here to support and bite the bullet with you and take you through. And at the end of the day, making that effort for that not to happen again is huge. And ultimately, coming from a place of not letting that client down,
Right.
Like making sure that, they're still taken care of. And there's ultimately a process in place, a system in place that is easy to manage, and you have support to help get you there at the end of the day. I was on a call earlier today and with an agent, and she really hasn't, done her database either. And she's a majority referral business. And I said, well, when's the last time you communicated or said thank you or took somebody, your I call them marketing warriors or your VIPs out, or did something nice to them, right? Because these folks are bringing you in business and promoting your name out there and doing all that stuff. And it's a disservice if we're not rewarding that in the sense of staying in communication with them or picking up the phone and saying, hey, thank you, or something like that. So as agents are watching this or they're going through and setting up, this is going to be the year they're going to tackle their database. I would love for them to start, of course, with the past 2 years of sales and then go from there. I say 2 years because that's more digestible. It's easier.
Yeah.
Once you got 2 years down, all the data, go to the previous 2 years, right? As far back as you want to go. But take a look at those folks who have given you a referral in the last 12 to 24 months at least, and make an effort to write them a handwritten note or say thank you or something. Like Carrie Ann saying, I feel like you're really much on the handwritten notes, birthday card, all those little milestone things really do make a difference. And just thank them, because a CRM and database can help you even grow your referral business out there.
Totally. And I think, whatever happened yesterday happens, right? We're blessed for it to be a new day, and it's a new opportunity for us to kickstart, a great business that can be. The little things matter. I'm a big believer in. And so just by carving out, so much time each day. And again, this is if you're interested or you're committed, right? That's the question. In 2025, if we're committed to be a successful business owner, and we're talking about a real estate business owner at this point, you need to infuse and make the effort, to really take the time to get organized, and know who your people are, and get to know them into not just a surface level. I think, we could do that, or you could go to the next level. And I love what you're saying. There's many cheerleaders today. I've got a gal, she's a real estate agent, and life has changed where a lot of her deals are cash. So I'm kind of kicked out of the transaction, but she is one of my biggest cheerleaders. There's a song like "You're My Cheerleader." I play that all the time because she is out there waving the flag just like you are for me, and I'm so grateful for that. And it takes your cheerleaders. You should love on those people. They may not actually do business one-on-one with you, but they're the ones, just praising you out there. And you definitely want to take the time to not forget about them. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
I agree.
I love a CRM. I think you need to help me with mine. It's quite large and overwhelming, but, dialing it in.
So I know this wasn't the direction we plan on going, Justin, but let's talk about, okay, so let's say there's somebody who's watching this that is in the same boat I am. And at the same time, I'm also wanting to, you shared so many nuggets the other day. I love marketing, and this is totally different. I'm sorry, I'm a little scattered sometimes. But you shared so many things that are doable in the marketing arena that was so impressive, that you could use that CRM to communicate on such a real level like that. So anyhow, back to my first direction. So I'm just trying to make sure we cover a couple of different things. So what does it look like if I said, hey, I'm going to muscle through my database, Justin, but I'd really like to have your help to take it to the next level. Can you walk that out just for a minute?
Yeah. What does that look like?
So typically, if we have an agent that wants to partner with us to help them with that part of it, we're going to do a one-on-one discovery call, of course, first, and just talk about their past business, where it's coming from, what their communication patterns have been in the past. We want to understand behavior, because that is a key piece to whether we're going to leverage a CRM or not. What is it about a CRM that you haven't? That hasn't allowed you, that hurdle that hasn't allowed you to go all in on it or be consistent with it. And, a lot of times it's time, right? Time. which is just an excuse for all of us. We've all been there. But essentially, we go through a series of just quick questions, seeing what some of those behavioral pieces are, and then figuring out which CRM is best for them, right? Because there's not a one CRM that's the all be. There's some people. This is why we have iPhones and Android in different phones, right? Some people think that iPhones are clunky and not great. I used to be an Android user. I'm making that disclosure real quick. But I use iPhone because it's clean and easy for me to use. And Android, there's so much in it you can do. And it's the same for all these different CRMs, right? They have all different types of bells and whistles. But at the end of the day, the basic foundation of itself, yes, should you be able to text through it? Should you be able to maybe incorporate video if you're leveraging that or anything like that? So we try to figure out which one's going to be best for them. And then we sit down and we go through their past sales, right? We go through the same method I talked about, past 2 years. We're going to start there. They're going to help us get the data. We're going to assemble and all that good stuff, and then get that into the CRM of choice. And then we're going to help them figure out a time blocking and what that process looks like on a daily basis. So you're going into it daily. And what I mean, I don't even mean an hour, like 10, 15 minutes, you're taking a look at it. You're updating anything you need to do. If there are any tasks or to-dos, that is your kind of your quote unquote blueprint. We kind of line up that process for them so that they have basically a checklist to start creating those habits in there. Now, if they need help designing their website that it's attached to and things like that, we absolutely can do that, make them, it all cohesive in that sense. We also talk about drip campaigns, right? Automation, all those different tools. Drip campaigns and different automation, in my mind, is insurance. It's not the all be, because it's oftentimes not personable, right? So we can go in and design more personable drip campaigns or more personable, even holiday at the most basic. So each month there's some holiday you can send an email out for automatically. Or maybe in that drip campaign, it's not your static text or traditional text, and the agent's comfortable doing video. So we're having them record videos that we're now putting in there. So it goes out to everybody within there. The other big piece that we're huge on is making sure that we segment or tag the different categories of prospects we're putting in there. So for example, those that are listening that want to make notes as they go through and start assembling their database, past clients should be one. Sphere of influence, open house, buyer leads, seller leads, maybe even by price point. Agents, referral agents, right? Your message is going to be different from them. It's going to talk about how you're helping people relocate to Nashville or wherever the area may be. So you definitely want to go in and make sure that you're segmenting your database so that you can be more personable and quote unquote custom in the communication that's going on. So essentially we get that all assembled for them, help them step through that process, and then they're going to have that checklist or basically blueprint for them to, their day-to-day and how they're going to interact with that database and leverage it.
Man, that sounds helpful. And because see, I have a conviction that there's a lot of agents in my shoes as far as I know I need a CRM in place. It seems like such a mountain to climb to start
Scary,
with. It's one thing to go ahead and get your database cleaned up and segmented and so forth, but then to implement it seems like and I understand you break it down where maybe for most people it's not that big a deal. I do know this though, as the broker of 225 agents, roughly, that a lot of folks are hesitant just because it is a daunting task if you're not so technologically inclined like myself. And so I think that a service like this is so awesome, especially coming from having a real estate background or being a realtor yourself. You know this, the goal here, the sensitivities here, the players, all the stuff. You're not just an outsider saying, hey, yeah, I can help you with the CRM. You can do it more on a heart level and knowledge level of being in that same boat. So I'm really excited about this because though I want to be a cheerleader for a CRM, I'm just being transparent here. I haven't been. I used to have a guy on my team that took care of all that for me. So I only got in the last 5 years that much further removed from that part of it. We had a very expensive CRM. But anyway, we're no longer team members. He's gone another direction. And so now I'm left like, what the hell? I got to do something here. How do I do that? Being kind of distant from the whole concept. I know how to use a CRM. I know all the benefits. I think a lot of people have that conviction. It's just now what to do. So thank you for having an opportunity where you can take people by the hand and take them through this process.
Yeah, make it less scary and just know that it's going to be a win tomorrow if you do it, and then take the baby steps, knowing and maybe plan that it's going to be over the next year. It doesn't have to be overnight, it's going to take some time. And don't feel like you have to do your 7,000. I mean, you got a lot of people. That's a lot of people, right? And maybe, I was going to say, it's terrible. Half of them are dead. That's terrible.
Jeez.
No, that's not true. But I'm just saying,
Not that old. Come on.
It's fine. We're just friends.
Oh, man, she's
We're just
mean.
friends. I love you.
She's mean.
So, just kind of going past even the last 2 years, like you said, right? You don't have to, get overwhelmed. Like for me, I will be honest, I've been doing this a long time. Some of those people are probably like, you forgot about me. I don't want to even have you in my life anymore. Right? Okay. Well, I can't change that. I made the mistake, but I can fix it tomorrow, and start to love on the people that I do get to meet, and not make that mistake again. So.
Sure. I think obviously we can't change the past, but we can definitely change the trajectory that we're going in. And those small wins are what help us keep going. So Carrie Ann, to your point, like you don't have to do it overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Cut it down, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Just cut it down into small bite pieces. And it's just like, the theory of military of making your bed every day. And that's your first win of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, doing those small wins. But I want to go back real quick because we really haven't touched on a major piece of the equation is accountability. Mm-hmm. And Monty, I think that is a huge piece of it, and something that we also offer in terms of, like our accountability sessions with our agents is, hey guys, it's Monday. This week, you need to add 5 new people to your database, or this week, have you communicated to those marketing warriors, or have you, updated your drip campaign, or have you done that, right? Trying to give just small little bits that way you can easily implement it or take action on that piece, and then you're done with that. But those small wins, right? Those add up to a massive opportunity. And like you said, Carrie Ann, in the future, you're building it for the future, that long term. Just like the agent example I gave, right? She's chasing leads so much, but if we had a solid database CRM that we were working, our referrals would naturally increase, our business would naturally increase, and we wouldn't feel so, discouraged or stressed trying to go out and chase the business.
And then when you have an organized, CRM, and you spoke about the benefits of having one, but using it, right? Using it for its goodness, using it, and then putting another layer of accountability on the system associated to using it. I'm going to write, 5, random, just thinking of you cards, or whatever you want to do, or the birthday cards, or, it's the anniversary cards, or taking the time. I will say I do get cookies every year that we look at and we might throw out, but we do look at them and we're very grateful. And it does remind me of the real estate agent who helped me with, the purchase of that specific house, so there is somebody making the effort is basically, what I see there. So again, you can do it in all different forms. But I do believe in a CRM, and I love that you would be a complement to anybody's business and simplify it, and it sounds affordable too, which is a win.
I have a conviction, and it could be crazy here, but I'll bet you if you looked at the cost of the CRM we're talking about, what's that? $50 a month, $600 in a year, and we looked at employing and hiring you guys to help us in that process, that if we have any sort of database at all, I got to believe that investment on an annual basis has got to be probably tripled on one transaction or a couple. I mean, it's got to be paid for anyhow easily by the results, the benefits of having that in place. Am I stretching too much here, Justin, or do you think that that's legitimate, that whatever you invested in this would more than be paid for by just one transaction?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the ROI on a solid database that you're actually working is monumental, huge. The percent is huge. Whatever return that you're going to get on that. for that. And, going back to the Bold Trail, for 50, right, it's $600 a year, $50 a month for what that CRM does. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So,
we were paying $800 a month for something similar.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just it's robust and all those things. So, the agents that are listening in, whether you're with Realty One Group Music City or another brokerage, highly consider you take a look at the Bold Trail CRM with Music City, because it's just an unbeatable price. It really is.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
You get one deal, right? Like you're saying, you get one more deal.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you work, Justin, with all agents, not just within, or you are associated with the family of RG?
No, all agents.
All agents. Okay.
Agents.
Yeah. Because we have an audience. Yes.
And
we love that. And we have a large audience of many different people, that follow us. So that's good to know as well. Very grateful for you to be here. I'm excited. I want to get back into my CRM. I might be giving you a call.
Well, I know I will. I know I'm gonna yank
Maybe
the Band-Aid
it's not
off.
A might. I'm
gonna go into my database and I'm gonna clean it out. I'm just gonna smile and just wish those folks best that didn't use me in the the past.
It's money lost. You can't get it back.
And focus on the ones who have stayed, where they're at and loyal and so forth, and really start loving on them at a whole nother level. The relief, I can already feel the relief of doing that. It's awesome.
We're going to get you all taken care of, money. I would have point this out too is, no matter where you are in the stage of your career within real estate, understand that when you get to retirement age and you have worked a great CRM, that is a tangible, sellable asset. So keep that in mind, folks, when you're, thinking towards the end game and all that stuff, that this is, when we think long term, this is a big piece of that, that you can, start having another agent, come in and maybe purchase that and phase your communication. You guys do it together, all that kind of stuff. But that is something to consider, and a benefit of having a great CRM.
As a side note, there's a book called The Golden Handoff, and that's what it's all about, is handing your business off to somebody rather than just let it going away. It's very valuable. It keeps you in the game a little bit longer maybe. But
that's what a lot of these companies are purchasing, right? I mean, it's not the company. They're purchasing the database underneath, the firm, and remove that from a real estate, just any type of business, So that's what they're looking for. And that's where the money is for sure. I think we learned that with Amazon maybe.
Well, Justin, I really appreciate your help. I'm so excited. When Daniel told me that you're going to be sharing with us on a regular basis, I'm really, really grateful for that, man. I'm so grateful for that, you being part of this family. But I think today we didn't cover the things I know that you had shared with us, but I think that the reality for me and a lot of folks I think that we know we need a CRM. There's no question about that. We can't argue with those who are within this organization, can't argue with the price of the Bold Trail at $600 a year is a no-brainer when you consider that we were, again, paying, Blake and I were paying $800 a month for something similar. It didn't have all the bells and whistles.
Sure.
And to have a service that's available, can we talk about how people can reach out to you if they want to know more? Because I got a feeling, because everybody's differently, that you might end up, in many cases anyhow, kind of customizing those fees based on what needs are met or in that relationship.
Oftentimes, it's tailored to the agent. We have some standard pricing, but if there's bundles and things like that, and that's why the discovery call is important, because then we can make it make sense, make it a win-win. Gotcha.
Because some people may need this, some people may need that instead, and so forth.
A la carte, this or that. Love
very
it.
Cool. I'm already feeling better about my database. I'm already feeling better about it.
Well, great. Well, and did you ask how we can connect with him?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I did, but then I didn't follow up on it. How do we get a hold of you?
BlueprintPro.com. Blueprint. There's no E because it's 2025 and we're forward thinking. It also wasn't available. No, BlueprintPro.com. BLU.
I'm like, you fancy.
Blueprint.com. And then at the top, you can explore the entire site, but there's a tab that says Agent Solutions that lists all of our current services that we're offering, or you can just email me directly, Justin@blueprintpro.com.
Again,
that's
blueprint.
blue without an E.
Right.
I remember at the meeting we had
BLU.
recently, I thought, hey, forgot the E. But it's intentional.
You're not aging yourself.
purpose.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. Hey, it's such a pleasure having you. Love your smile. Love your energy. Love what you're doing for others. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.